Hi, Fran Torsen here. Thanks for checking out this video. I want to show you my secret sauce for juicing up your emails with videos you probably already have on your hard drive. Recently, I sent out an email sequence, and when I checked my stats, I was floored. One of those emails contained a GIF of a real estate video I made for one of my clients to prospect expired listings. Let me put this into context. According to Campaign Monitor, email open rates for the real estate industry are about 18%. That means when you send out an email campaign, about 18% of those emails actually get opened. The stat I just showed you about my email broadcast translates to an open rate of more than 500%. Does that mean that everyone opened the email 13 times? No. Many people have opened it more than once, but that unbelievable open rate indicates some of my subscribers shared that email with their friends and colleagues. How much would you love your subscribers to share your emails with lots of their friends? That's the power of a GIF. I'm not going to get deep into the weeds today on email tactics and strategies because I want to demo my GIF tool. If you want to know more about GIF marketing, you can sign up for a webinar I am planning in a couple of weeks. Just text video to 415-528-7403 for updates and more tutorials. Now let's go under the hood at Video ToolChest to see how I create these GIFs. I will show you some examples, including the expired listing video I used in the email I just told you about. All right, well, here is our Video ToolChest software as I'm opening it. As you can see, there's an awful lot of stuff it does. As I say, it is like a Swiss Army knife of video tools. What I'm going to concentrate on right now is the GIF compressor, and future tutorials will cover the other functions of this really remarkable little piece of software. The GIF compressor is probably not really a good name. It really doesn't just compress an existing GIF. It creates a GIF from scratch using video. So it creates the video and compresses it, and I generally use it to do both. So let me click there and open up the drawer here to use this. I'm going to make the screen a little bit bigger. And as you see, we have a blank screen here. I'm going to import a file. I'm going to go over to my massive real estate video library and select a video from one of the modules here. And over here, I've got module, you have here one, contract signed by all parties. This is one of the things that happens during a real estate transaction, right? This is an MP4 video file. It's 6 seconds long, and it is 637 kilobytes, which is a nice small file. You will see, let me see what this looks like here. All right, we've got a little bit of animation there with the text and with these people. They're moving a little bit, just a little bit of animation. And we're going to see what this looks like when it is converted to a GIF file in terms of size and so forth. All right, it's 1.3 megabytes. That gets, it grows in size. And one of the things we want to do with the compressor is shrink that a little bit. So let's take a look and see how we can shrink this and make it work for an email. This is a great example. Well, one of the things that we can do is actually, first of all, shorten this. It doesn't have to be quite so long, doesn't it? I like the bounce, and I have that. But I think, I think this really works too as a 4-second video. Let's take a look at that. Let's reduce that. All right, that's fine. Okay, that works. The number of colors, we don't need quite so many colors, do we? We just have a few shades of black, we have white, and we have red. I'm going to bring this all the way down to, to 50 or so, right? Because we don't need all these colors. I'm going to leave the frames per second at 10, and I'm going to resize this this image or this GIF. We don't need anything 1280 pixels wide. Right now, this is set up as the video at 1280 by 720. We don't need that. We can bring that down to about, let me bring that down about 33%, and that will give us something much more appropriate for email, right? So let's say 32. Let's preview this at this particular. Now this is dynamite. Look at this. We have a width of 409, a height of 230. That is perfect for email. The duration is 4.1 seconds. And look at the size on this. It's only 1.58 kilobytes. That is fantastic. I'm going to export this as a GIF file on my desktop. All right. I'm going to call this closing GIF. I'm going to call it closing GIF .gif. You have to include the .gif in the software to render this as an image. That is great. This is one of the reasons I love the black and white doodle images. They don't take a lot of work. You don't lose any resolution. They're sharp, they're crisp, and you don't have to play too much with them. And you don't get anything that's too big for your email. You know, one of the things that happens when you have an email that has a real big file is that deliverability is compromised. Okay, let me show you the actual email I created and the GIF I inserted in that email that got that really great response. Here it is right here. This was an email about a promotion for a new video creator. I created a video using the tool, and then I went over to the video tool chest and I compressed that video, created a new GIF, and inserted it in the email. And this is how it looks. All right, this time let's take the video that I used in my example, the expired listing video, and let me show you how I created that and what you can do with something like this, right? Are you angry your house did not sell? How long is this? This is pretty long for one thing, right? Okay, and then don't be too angry. At the end of it, I have a video's outro where I put my client's website. All right, so let's just take this as it is. This is a pretty big video, right? This is 1920 by 1080. Let's take a quick look at what this looked like as a video in terms of size. So this is a 23-second video, and it's about 10.5 megs, which is way too big for an email. And as we learned in the last video, these things get bigger when we create GIFs. So let's see what this looks like as a GIF. Okay, let's see what this looks like now when we preview this as a GIF. This is going to be a lot bigger than 10 megs, so let's see what actually happens. Wow, look at this now. This turned into a GIF. This worked out. This translated into a pretty big file, 148 megs. That's crazy. I mean, certainly does not work for a GIF. What I generally do is before I work with these and before I create these previews, I start to apply all of my settings here so that I know that I'm not going to do that. I just did that for the purpose of illustration. Again, we're going to bring this down to 10 frames per second. I'm going to rescale this at about 20%. That will bring us down to something a lot closer to what's going to work. The number of colors, I probably am going to bring this down to about 100 for now, see what we work with. There is a dithering setting here. I'm going to cover that stuff in another video, not today. So let's see what happens when I rescale this. Let's see, I'm going to bring it up to 20, right? To 20, 10 frames per second and 100 colors. And let's see what that looks like. The other thing that we're going to do next to further whittle this down is to make this shorter. I don't think we need a 23-second video. Let's see what it's looking like now. Okay, we're down to about 3.7 megs. All right, very, very good. Okay, we're getting there. So let's go back and, right, so at about 3 seconds is where the action starts. See that? All right, so I'm going to take this up. I'm going to knock a couple of seconds off there. And let's look at the end here. After I have your website.com, I don't really need to let that sit out there a whole lot more. Not for a GIF, I don't. All right, so I'm going to trim this down to 19 seconds from 23, and then I'm going to do another preview, and let's see what it looks like now. While that's generally a little bit larger than I like, I went with it anyway. And I created that GIF and I put it into that email, and I had phenomenal results. So even though, right, even though it's larger than that, even though it's a 19-second video, which is pretty much against all the rules in GIF marketing, I used it, and that's how I got it down. And that's how I trimmed a 10 megabyte video to a 3 megabyte GIF. I would not do this for all of my emails. As I say, I like to use the lighter emails, you know, the two-tone, the black and white, the doodle videos are really my favorites. But every now and then I use one like this, and boy, I had a home run with that one. So that's that. And again, if you would like more information about GIF marketing, just text video to 415-528-7403, and we'll take care of you, and we'll let you know as soon as that webinar is ready.